Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're with your host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Mark Graban. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Julian, hey, thanks for having me here.
Okay, so we're going to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And the key to this is that you have 3 lifelines, so it's very important that you use your lifelines. If you're not sure, let's bring up the board. First question for Mark. The USA has the most billionaires, but which country is in second place? India, China, Russia, or Germany?
That seems like a difficult question to start off with, but I'm just sheer numbers of people. I'm going to go with B, China.
Let's lock in B. That's correct. Well done, Mark. And before we go on, will mention that we're playing just for fun, but if you do make it all the way, you qualify for the champion round, where the guest prize pool will be available in the champion round. So, and if anybody watching wants to tip the guests, go to tipguests.com, and once the prize pool's filled up, we will have prizes for the champion round. Continuing on, according to a classic theme song, you'll have a yabba dabba do time watching what TV series? Oh, that's a bit easy. The Flintstones, the Jetsons, the Roadrunner, or the Wacky Races?
This is definitely easier than that first question. I watched the Flintstones a lot as a kid, so A, the Flintstones.
So did I. The Flintstones is locked in, and it is correct. Going for the $500 question. According to a classic tune from Porgy and Bess, the living is easy during what time? Christmas, springtime, summertime, or Friday night?
I'm pretty sure I'm a big music fan, George Gershwin fan. I think this is his music, and I'm pretty certain it's
Mark.
C, summer. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, if you're not sure, use your lifeline, but you just locked in summertime. Let's have a look.
Yes.
Woo, that's correct. Mark knows his music. We don't have anything to worry about. I thought we were going to bomb out early there. According to a Benjamin Franklin quotation, nothing is certain except what and taxes? Chocolate, Mondays, taxes. That's meant to be death. Betrayal.
Taxes and taxes, of course.
Yes. So it's
D or C, death.
Yeah, it's meant to be death.
Double taxes sometimes too.
Yes, double taxes are certainty. According to a common idiom, extremely close friends are said to be as thick as what? Thieves, porridge, bricks, or mud?
Don't understand the expression, but I've heard it. It's A, thieves.
Yes, it's an English and Australian one, but you did get it correct. Well done. You're at the $1,000 save mark, even though we're just playing for fun today.
Right.
Continuing on, according to a famous Albert Einstein quote, God does not play what with the universe? Football, dice, hockey, or poker. According to Albert Einstein, God does not play what with the universe? Football, dice, hockey, or poker?
I'm pretty sure that's B, dice.
Mark is locking in dice. Mark, you're doing very well. You have not used a lifeline, and this is a very good sign. You could go all the way here. Carson Daly, the host of the NBC singing contest The Voice, was also the host of what MTV music show? Total Request Live, Ridiculousness, MTV Unplugged, or MTV Cribs?
Oh, that's A, TRL.
TRL, you know this one. Mark's he's gonna clean us out today.
I don't know. I'm not going to get overconfident about it.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. According to a common saying, the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that does what? Controls the remote, rocks the boardroom, rules the world, or gets the cookie?
I'm pretty sure that's C, rules the world.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
That's correct. Well done, Mark. Either you're very good at trivia, or my questions are too easy. I think it's a bit of both, maybe. Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward's book, All the President's Men, details what event in U.S. history? The Capitol Hill insurrection, the Iran-Contra affair, the Monica Lewinsky affair, or Watergate?
I know for sure that's D, Watergate.
That is, and there is a movie starring who?
Oh, see, I'm glad that wasn't the trivia question.
Robert Redford, but that's not the question.
That's right.
Watergate is the answer. Well done, Mark Graban. Carrots are said to be good for the eyes because they enable the body to create what nutrient? Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, or vitamin D? This is can be confusing. You got lifelines, but
thankfully the answers are in line with the vitamins. You're not crossing us up. A being vitamin D. I don't know. Maybe I'll use. I think I know, but let me not waste the lifelines. Let me do a lifeline.
You want to do a 50-50 split? Which one are you leaning towards?
I think it's vitamin D.
It's up to you. You want to lock it in or use the lifeline?
Let's use the lifeline.
Okay. 50-50 split?
Do I have choices for other ones?
You do have a choice. You can poll the audience. You can Google it. You got 30 seconds to Google it, or do a 50-50 split.
I'm afraid the 50-50 split's gonna just eliminate one. Let me do 30 seconds to Google it.
Okay. 30 seconds from now. Don't know what happened to the countdown music.
Okay. I'm glad I Googled it because I would have been wrong. The answer is A, vitamin A.
Locking it in. A is correct. Well done, Mark. Saved yourself with the lifeline.
Good.
And that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Continuing on. Causing excessive body hair growth, the medical condition hypotrichosis is slangily known as what? Camel syndrome, gorilla syndrome, werewolf syndrome, or sheep syndrome? Hypotrichosis.
I don't want to use the other lifelines yet, so I think it makes sense this would be C, werewolf syndrome.
Okay, locking it in. Saving the lifelines. Could be a huge mistake, but it's not. It's correct. Well done, Mark. Woo! All right, now you're in very good shape here. You've got lifelines. You've got 2 lifelines up your sleeve. I think you're going to go all the way and make it to the champion round. Let's have a look. Boston mob boss James Whitey Bulger inspired a character in what gangster movie? Goodfellas, The Departed, The Godfather, or Casino?
It's the most recent of these, I'm sure. It's B, The Departed.
The Departed. I just watched this recently, and I know it's correct.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, look at this. We've got 3 questions left, is it? And 2 lifelines. You can't really go wrong here, Mark. Castanets are musical instruments traditionally played while attached to what part of the body? The head, the thumb, toes, or the shoulder? Castanets.
See, I'm a bit of a percussionist. I know it's the thumb, B. I have played the castanets.
Let's lock it in. Mark has played the castanets. No, you're right. This is host error.
Oh. It's a host error.
Yeah, it's a host error. You're still alive. This was when I haven't had a coffee and I'm doing the questions. Continuing on, you're still alive. Just like to give you a fright. Which Jersey Shore star had a spin-off show called A Shore Thing? Snooki, The Situation, Omarosa, or Paris Hilton? Right, you got 2 lifelines. Now you
Well,
seem smart,
I
so
know-
you probably won't know anything about reality shows.
I know it's not Pauly Shore. That's different. I know it's either A or B because they were the two on the Jersey Shore, but I have no idea about the spin-off.
A 50-50 split could help you here.
It could,
Or you want to
not,
poll the
but,
audience.
Let's poll the audience.
Okay. All right, let's get those responses in. Which Jersey Shore star had a spin-off show called A Sure Thing? Mark thinks it's either Snooki or The Situation. What do you think? Let's take a look. Whoa, okay, bit of a split. Well, we've got a winner with Snooki for A. So the audience thinks it's Snooki. Situation is B at 22%.
Yeah.
Omarosa at 17%, and she wasn't even in the show, and Paris Hilton at 22%. So the leader is Snooki. Would you like to lock in Snooki?
Yeah, and if I go down because of a Jersey Shore question, I'm not going to lose any sleep.
You can't feel bad about it. It's almost a good thing. It's correct.
Woo! I almost went against the vote and went with the
I could see you doing that.
I'm glad I trusted.
Always trust the vote because they cheat and Google it. Now, we've got one question to go. And you got one lifeline to go. So you got a pretty good chance here, Mark. Let's take a look. Cavendish is the most popular supermarket variety of what fruit? Apple, banana, pear, or orange? Do you know your fruits?
I think so, but is this the last question?
This is the last question.
Oh, the bar I'm looking at, it looks like there's one more above it, but I
Pretty
guess
sure
I'm
this
just
is the
reading
last
it
one.
wrong.
We'll soon find out.
Okay. Well, let me use that 50-50 then. You can't take them with you, as they say.
That's right. 50-50 split. That leaves apple or banana. Now, what did you say you thought it was?
Well, I thought it was pear because I haven't heard of a Cavendish apple. Like I would think Red Delicious is most popular.
Do you have Granny Smith's?
So maybe I just don't know anything. Right. There are many popular apples, so I must not know anything about bananas. So I will go with B.
The
banana.
logic of elimination, which may have led Mark down the wrong path entirely. Let's lock it in.
Let's see.
You know it's correct because I built it up. Well done. You've made it all the way. Banana is correct. And Mark is probably the third person to go all the way and qualify for the champion round. Let's turn that music off. You can't hear that, but that's really loud. And so we're going to have a champion round, and eventually people are going to donate to the guest prize pool, and we're going to play a champions round of Jeopardy eventually, and we will have $500 cash to give away. So that's going to be lots of fun. But before we do that, let's go back to Mark and talk about all of the interesting things that you're doing. Why are we going to talk about mistakes, Mark?
Well, I didn't make a mistake, so I mean I almost did. So we can talk about that. But I've written a book called "The Mistakes That Make Us: Cultivating a Culture of Learning and Innovation," and I also host a podcast that actually inspired the book. The podcast is called "My Favorite Mistake," where we talk about learning from mistakes. Mistakes
are good because if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not learning anything. What's your own sort of journey that's kind of led you to embrace the, I guess, failing forward mentality?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think every mistake is a learning opportunity. But I think I've learned, I think through my career, there are two broad categories of mistakes. One are the mistakes that really shouldn't occur if we have a good process, if we have a good culture where people can speak up about questions and concerns. So, I started my career in the auto industry. I'm an industrial engineer, and there's a lot of focus on what we would call mistake proofing. And I've been able to apply those methods and lessons in hospital and healthcare settings, where a mistake like a medication error or what they call, wrong side surgery could be very harmful or maybe even fatal. So, we have to be careful. We don't want to excuse all mistakes as, oh, well, it's just a learning opportunity. Like, we need to work really hard to prevent some of those mistakes. But then there's the realm of innovation, where if you're a startup, if you're developing a new product or service, if you are trying to improve an existing process. So those are the situations where you're getting into the unknown. You almost have to expect, or if not invite, those types of mistakes. Because otherwise, if you tell people you always have to be right when you're trying to improve and innovate, people are going to get super cautious. They're not going to try. They're not going to take the risk of trying something that might not work. So, I think there's those two broad categories of mistakes. They're all learning opportunities. There's some we need to work really hard to prevent. And if it happens anyway, learn. And then there's other mistakes we have to really kind of expect to happen and again, make sure we learn from them.
And what can leaders do to create a culture of learning from mistakes and moving away from that culture of being scared to make a mistake?
I think one of the most helpful things leaders can do is by being the first to admit mistakes. I've seen in a software company called Kinexus, is I could be wrong, so let's go test that idea. Thinking more like an experimentalist instead of someone who's very certain, about their ideas moving forward. That all sets, I think, a really constructive and positive example and tone for others. So leaders need to kind of model the way. And then when others follow that lead, leaders need to reward people for speaking up instead of punishing them. Pointing out a mistake, admitting a mistake, saying we tried something and it didn't work out, we were wrong or not 100% correct. Those are really the two key behaviors for leaders to build a culture of psychological safety, and that allows people to better learn from mistakes.
Awesome. We're having some technical issues, Mark, so the audio is not coming through. I'm going to wrap this one up early, unfortunately. But I've got a link on here to Mark's website, and if you want to check out his book, is it available on the website, or do we buy it from Amazon, Mark?
Oh, probably the easiest way, especially around the world, would be through Amazon. It's available as print books, Kindle, audiobook. It's also available through mistakesbook.com. It's available through other retailers if people would prefer.
Awesome. Wonderful. And thanks for coming on, Mark. And we'll get you back because, number one, you did win. And also the audio is not working. I think my son might be downloading a game or something. Or it just could be the internet. So thanks very much for coming on, Mark. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll get Mark back. Thanks for listening.